about project and program management, 20 key factors for project success. Introduction to Alpus Group. Alpus was founded in Slovenia in 2015 and is based within the European Union, also in the United Kingdom. We operate in the United Kingdom, in Europe, that's within and out with the EU, in the Middle East, and in South Africa. About Alpus Group achievements. Alpus Group has property assets in the UK, in Europe and beyond. Alpus has a track record of project management success over many years for commercial and publicly owned clients. Culture. Alpus Group creates property wealth through the application of project management, technical and financial expertise and resources towards leveraging additional value on its assets. Ethos. Alpus Group applies its expertise and technology for the benefit of its customers and shareholders. This is a picture of me, the managing director of Alpus. I've got extensive project management and development experience for commercial developers and also for infrastructure projects in the UK and internationally. I started work at 16 years old working for a building contractor in Hampshire, United Kingdom. I've worked for contractors, for top-tier consultants and for clients. See references and testimonials. We carry out city centre developments, rural developments, apartments and flats, executive houses, mixed-use developments, that's retail, offices, residential and hotels, and of course infrastructure projects. So we carry out the full range of projects, such as railways, light railways and heavy gauge railways. Alpus project and program management. We have experience of the whole design and construction process on many types of projects, ranging from the smallest to the largest. Alpus recommends the most appropriate procurement contracting strategy for the project in hand. Alpus gives clients and customers the benefit of their experience on many projects worldwide to achieve the optimum time cost outturn. Alpus has first-hand experience of many different contract types. Alpus sets up monitoring and reporting systems on every project so as to track and control key critical issues. We recommend that the following 20 key factors are addressed to ensure project success. Key factor 1, a clear and concise project brief. There must be a clear and concise project or program brief that defines the full scope of works and the fundamental design parameters and the employer's requirements, such as the budget cost, the time schedule, and specific operational or performance requirements and quality requirements. The project or program brief should reflect the vision of the sponsor of the project or program. Key factor 2, funding and finance. The project or program must be adequately funded and financed with a clear project or program brief and an initial risk assessment and establishment of a suitable contingency amount included within the budget to cater for all possible outcomes affecting performance against both time and cost of the project. With our extensive contacts, Alpus can help you to find the necessary finance to enable your project to happen. Risk management must continue through the life of the project, and risk must be owned and managed by individuals in order to close them out or mitigate them. Adequate finance and governance arrangements. Apart from the adequate funding needing to be in place with sufficient finance available at the right time, to overcome all the risks and address all the issues, the governance arrangements of the project may require authorization and drawdown of funds in stages or at particular milestones. Key factor 4, the site needs to be available and accessible. The project site needs to be available and accessible to the contractor. It sounds obvious, but all land expropriation needs to be completed, and the contractor must be handed vacant possession of the site. If land is to be reclaimed, for instance, from the sea, the right conditions and accessibility need to be put in place for that to happen on time. If part of the site is not available from day one, then a date within the formal contract agreement needs to be written and agreed to confirm when it will be available. And the contractor is aware and has programmed for the balance of the site's incorporation and fulfillment of his contract obligations. This is a phasing or staging agreement. All enabling works need to be planned and completed. Key factor 5, regulatory permissions. The site must have the necessary statutory planning permissions for the development of the type planned to be made before the work is started. In the case of mega transport projects, these need to be carried out under a Transport and Works Act in the UK and subject to government and Treasury approval. You will need to seek outline and detailed planning permission unless you have permitted development rights under the Town and Country Planning Order 2015. You'll need to have building control permission for carrying out the works in accordance with the building regulations. Key factor 6, agreements with neighbours and utilities. Agreements need to be in place with all necessary neighbouring properties such as railways and underground and light railways, where special protection measures may be needed, especially in the case of party wall agreements where there's a shared boundary wall condition. Then party wall designs and agreements need to be carried out. There is an existing building on the site, then the demolition needs to be carried out prior to the contractor starting works as enabling works, or it needs to be part of the contractor's scope of works. And you should not forget about existing services under a building that need to be terminated or removed, or in some cases diverted. Key factor 7, utility connections and protection or diversion. Protection of utility services may be required, alternatively they may be diverted. Major utilities such as gas, electricity, water and sewers and communications, fibre optic cables may need to be protected or diverted, and time will be needed to effect such activities. Utilities companies have particular conditions and specifications for works carried out in the vicinity of their services. You need to fully survey all the existing services and identify any planned routes nearby as well. Key factor 8, enabling or advanced works. Enabling or advanced works contracts are sometimes carried out where they will be advantageous for the work to be done in advance of the main contract works. Key factor 9, the appropriate contracting or procurement strategy. The appropriate contracting strategy must be chosen so that the designers, the suppliers and contractors are brought online at the right time to efficiently complete in accordance with the project or programme brief. The choice of contractual arrangement, and especially the form of contract, should be appropriate for the type of work being carried out. From a point of view of clarity of responsibility, design and build contracts provide one of the best ways to clients to ensure that they will not receive claims from contractors as a result of deficient designs. Key factor 10, the design must be complete and buildable. The designs for the project must be fully coordinated and available to the extent provided in the contract. That is, the design must be able to be implemented and fulfill its design requirements, objectives, and functionality. This is a significant issue, and somebody must be responsible for checking the buildability of the design to ensure there will be no problems with the implementation of the design. Firstly, it is the designer's responsibility, but the contractor must also check that this is the case before implementation. Contractors need time for their own procurement of suppliers and subcontractors, so there is often a significant lead time following issue of design production drawings for supplier contract award and shop or fabrication drawings, which may be done by the subcontractor. Key factor 11, quality assurance and control. Quality assurance and control does not just happen. You need clear specifications of all the works to be read in conjunction with the drawings. You need to specify your QA, QC requirements within the employer's requirements to ensure that you have a satisfactory system for ensuring that these standards are met to ISO 9001, usually by employing a contractor with such systems in place. Key factor 12, building information management. Building information management and modelling, known as BIM, is a means of coordinating all the designs by all the parties involved in a contract project, which is available for future construction, operation and maintenance of the building. This is highly recommended from the start. Also, technology should be used by all parties to maximize efficiencies on the project, with drones and survey equipment for setting out and records. Key factor 13, collaboration between the parties. What is needed is collaboration between the multitude of suppliers and subcontractors, designers and contractors, as well as all the stakeholders to the project. Conflict between the parties causes delay, which will inevitably increase costs. Contract forms should be considered to ensure that collaboration is part of the contractual obligations and culture of the project. Key factor 14, health and safety. Health and safety must be a consistent fundamental provision throughout the project and is an obligation of the employer, the designers, the contractors, subcontractors, suppliers, and anyone else involved in the project, including individuals working on the site. There must be a project safety culture. All statutory health and safety legislation must be complied with and exceeded where possible, and all parties have obligations to comply with such requirements. Key factor 15, stakeholder management. All stakeholders must be identified and engaged, and their needs must be recognised and incorporated into the scope of the project. Stakeholders must also be informed of developments on the project and issues that are of concern to them under a stakeholder management agreement, under which responsibility is allocated to project team members for stakeholder liaison. Key factor 16, communications. The project team must arrange good communications so as to be able to identify and overcome all the problems which may arise in an efficient manner. This requirement includes representatives from the employer, the project manager, designers, contractors, and construction managers, also specialist subcontractors and suppliers whenever necessary. There must be an efficient communication protocol so that issues are logged and raised to the appropriate party for resolution quickly. In case some team members are not always in the country where the project is located, then email and Skype or video conversations may be essential. Key factor 17, progress reporting. There must be regular progress reports against the master program schedule and budget. Critical issues must be identified and appropriate corrective action taken in a timely manner so as to correct or recover the situation. All stakeholders and interested parties must receive regular progress reports explaining what is happening and what are the current issues needing resolution so that they can engage. There must be regular progress meetings between all the parties to discuss progress at design, procurement and construction stages and to identify problems and to quickly resolve critical issues. Key factor 18, interface management. Interfaces are often a cause for concern, especially where there are obligations to complete works that interface with your own project. So there needs to be a plan in place for interface management involving stakeholders, designers, and contractors. Key factor 19, decision-making and problem resolution. There must be a culture of decision-making and problem resolution. In many projects, there are unexpected and unforeseen issues that arise, and the most suitable and responsible person, usually the contractor or designer or project manager initially, must decide what to do in a timely way so that problems do not fester and cause delays and additional costs. Client approval to such extraordinary measures and decisions may be required, and authorization of variation orders possibly. Key factor 20, leadership. Leadership is needed from time to time, but need not necessarily always come from the same person. Teams working together collaboratively can demonstrate leadership. These are our contact details, alpusgroup.com. We're represented in the UK, in Hindhead, Surrey, and also in Zgornje Gore, Slovenia. You can contact me, Alan, at alpusgroup.com, telephone 07539 141 257. Of course, you need the +44 country code preceding that number if you're ringing from outside the UK. I've got Skype and WhatsApp and FaceTime on that number. To book a 30-minute exploratory call with Alan, go to https://calendly.com/AlanJE. And if you would like a free contracts checklist from Alpus, if you go to the tiny URL mentioned at the bottom of the screen, or if you want further property development training, go to the second tiny URL at the bottom of the screen. I'll speak to you in future videos. Cheers now.